Welcome to Alchemy and Commentary once again. My name is R.A. I am your host with my two good friends, and today, just before we have everybody introduce themselves, we are talking about, social media apps, the techno boom, WhatsApp, and how it relates to, the change in society.
Hi, how are you? I'm City. They call me Poetic Academy. I believe in living out our alternatives, instead of talking about it, live out the realities that we want to see. A Buddhist and feminist, and happy to be here today.
Nice.
I am Jeremy. I did a great introduction in the first show, so definitely check that out. Just to bring it back to today, very glad to be here, and in that same energy, here to think about serving the people in the best way possible.
Yeah, man, Jerry, I'm glad that mentioned it because our last show was great, but we were talking about this techno boom with people writing software for smartphones, and we really started to get into what ones are big, and definitely it relates to social media, how that relates to bringing people together globally. But this is driving a big business. So, what do you guys think about this?
Well, I think it's really important for us to think about apps like we thought about, for example, Napster taking down the record industry. So apps are the new stealth way to, in fact, start systematic change. Start revolutionary actions. We know what happened on Twitter, in the Arab, spring. So I'm sure we'll get into that. But I'm thinking, the perspective, at least that I have on this topic today, is the fact that I'm a beta tester, and so
nice.
I beta test for this app called Mind Blown Life, and it's about teaching teenagers and young college students financial literacy through a Sims-like game where you, depending on your actions, you get rewarded by society, but you don't know what those rewards are initially. So if you start saving your money at the bank after you go to work, all of a sudden you start seeing an increase and you get happy points.
So this is like a game now.
Right, so this is an app game.
It's an app game that is used to help to teach people financial literacy. This is super duper. This is what I call really advanced technology for social control.
Right.
Not in a bad sense.
That's what I was saying. Revolution or social control, either way, we're in that middle ground.
Wow. Jerry, what's your take on these things? And then, I'll drop mine, man.
Yeah, well, definitely just hearing about the power of the app, either to be seen as a virus or a revolution. Which one is it at the end of the day? And I think in this society we're seeing a lot of awesome things going on,
right?
And it's affecting the younger generation as much as it's affecting us, and in positive ways. So all of that in mind.
Yeah, man. I'm on Facebook. I am on
Twitter.
I'm on Twitter. I'm sad to say I don't use it a lot, but when you talk about the Arab Spring, Facebook and revolution as it relates to apps, because at first the internet was not being distributed very widely by phones. I can recall from about this is 2012, so 12 years ago. I would say about 10 years ago is when I got like the pocket PC phone. You could get on the internet with it, but it was a dial-up connection, meaning they didn't have like broadband and Wi-Fi.
Oh, I remember AOL dial-up. You try to sneak online and chat,
yeah,
parents catch you.
Because when we looking at this becoming a social media revolution, the creation of apps that are having a huge impact on society, its transformation. We are living in an age of transformation of consciousness, because the type of information that people can pull in globally through apps like Facebook, like you are connecting to people all over the world and they're sharing their piece of the pie. So you know, you talked about the Arab Spring and how, you know, Facebook was used to organize revolutions, but we're seeing now as well how apps are being used to organize business. Like business revolutions are still going down, and you can like there are people getting the American dream through technology in the post-techno boom age and the current recession.
This is the second techno boom. I mean, in recession, which is insane. And that tells you how easy it is to make apps. Not easy. It's not easy, but if you're a programmer, you hop on a Mac and you get, you know,
Right.
there's programming stuff. I don't know, whatever, C++, whatever. You hop on something and you program, and then you got yourself an app that you can make public and sell and trade. You know.
So now bringing it back to business, the person watching this, whether they know about app creation or not, do they know it's a big booming business and you can live a very happy life just getting into it tomorrow? But then it's like, but at the end of the day, it's like, what, program an app? Isn't that complicated? Well, I see stuff like the Matrix. I'm not gonna understand that stuff, you know? So how does someone figure out where they stand in that situation?
Well, first of all, this is what, you know, I like to talk about the social media revolution, and I'm a tech geek. You know, I started off from 1985 in a computer science program, and people were communicating from modem to modem from back then. And this is before the internet became public, because we know that the military had the internet for a while and they used it as a communication network. Since then, we're talking about going back to the days of Pascal, Cobalt, GW Basic, the development of now like C++, and then you have like Java. And now there are apps that you can use to create apps. What I would do is, I would, believe it or not, you can go to school on the internet for free. I've done it several times.
It's called Coursera. It's called MOOCs, Massively Open Online Courses, where, like, I'm in the modern poetry class, and there are 33,000 people in this class around the world. But the medallion schools are the ones that get to have their professors, like Stanford or Harvard. But yeah, it's Coursera. That's one of the places you can go take free online courses.
Nice. And you know, I found that in conjunction with that, you have like tech blog sites. So if you are trying to learn to even create an app and you're using a particular software to do so, you can go onto blog sites and do research on, you know, places where you are confused. And people volunteer. Now this was how the .com boom really how tech geeks won the job market war and were really like valuable. Being that resourceful in how you work out the bugs and kinks in software through, you know, meaning that social media goes back before Facebook. Now with the phones, it's the bandwidth that is brought, so it's bandwidth and memory and processing power that has brought social media now to Wi-Fi and to phones.
So my next question would naturally be, what did social media look like 10, 15 years ago? It sounds like you're speaking about in the near past. When I was a kid, I didn't see this stuff, you know? But as I grew up, I mean, I saw America Online when it first came out. I remember the floppy disk. But what was social media? What did it look like for an average kid growing up, or a teenager, or someone getting into business and trying to make a very good killing off of this thing called the internet? And then there was a lot of people who are like superstars that we know of now, and they got their start in that.
Well, I remember there was a product called Web TV. It was for people who couldn't afford to have a computer, and you would get the internet through your TV, but you had this console. And when it first debuted, it was network marketed. It was sued successfully for violation of network marketing principles because they had it distributed into like Radio Shack and stores like that with the Wiz. So yeah. So you know, if you network marketing a product, your downline has to have exclusive distribution. But Web TV was so popular that a place like the Wiz would, you know, pick it up. But at that time, still people had computers, and we got onto the internet via dial-up.
Yep, I had my Black Planet. I would go on my remember the chat site? So early on in terms of social media, the whole thing messaging and BBS.
She said Black Planet. A lot of people forgot Black Planet.
I didn't forget about Black Planet. I didn't
Facebook.
I had my profile, Belizean chick. 08. I hope anything doesn't come up. But yeah, that was the Black Planet in the chat sites. But okay, so the next step is like, okay, how does that change the way that we relate? Like, what do these apps mean for social relations? Because when the business world is talking about apps, you're like, how can we access the people? So I was reading the other day that 60% of mobile usage is gaming. Is spent on gaming, actually not talking on the phone or taking pictures or even or social media. It's gaming.
Wow.
You know.
Well,
so that the app world, like fantasy football, is huge. A lot of people, a lot of investors are putting money in fantasy football ventures. So, but just to close, the business community is like, how can we reach them through ads? Because this is what they're doing. So this is how we can target ads. The apps are saying, how can we influence people's behaviors? How can we aid people in manifesting something else? Like the Rosie robots, from the Jetsons. Oh, there's an app for that. Oh, there's a robot for that. It's introducing us to, there's a robot for that by introducing us to the apps.
Right. Well, we got about 4 minutes left right now. And this has been a really, really good conversation about, from our crew here at Alchemy. There is, social media apps and what it distributes through the computer, through the, people have tablets now, phones. People have all types of ways to, to connect to this global network from these devices and do various things. I'm really, really vibing with what you are saying, because what it shows is that, maybe we need an app for moral values.
There we go. Look, wow, there we go. There's an app for that.
This game that you mentioned that you are beta testing is a good way to get people to be financially moral.
Yeah.
Maybe someone needs to pioneer an app to be socially moral. How does it look like? And I'll tell you what, because we're going to talk about this in a future show. I know an ancient man and 8 different ancient people that laid down social media contracts. That we are at the stage of technology where we can take Buddhist texts and develop an app around it as a game and a scenery.
Absolutely.
But it's being done through TV. It's being sort of done through video games, but it's not being done through like specific civilizations that we can say, hey, or specific type of text that we hear love, like Taoists and Buddhists. It could be Native American. People could get to go on their shamanic journey and meet their totem.
And even probably a Christian one, because there's a big Christian community.
You need to have a Christian one too.
The biggest thing about Christianity is like, how come these people, once they leave the congregation, they're acting differently for 6 days a week? So maybe the app is a reminder so that they could go back each day to that moral standpoint, because it's beautiful on Sunday. Yeah. What I see outside is beautiful, the energy. We're going right back into that this summer, so I can't wait to, see it the next summer, the beauty that comes out. So it's like, we need an app to facilitate that so we can have a wonderful summer,
And they always talk about games programming kids' minds. Oh my God, Grand Theft Auto makes our kids more violent. I mean, there's some aspects to that. I mean, I wouldn't go to that extreme. I think violence is in our culture, period.
And we're going to also get to that. But
just to close.
Sure thing.
Again, to your point, why not have an app to program the So this is when we're talking about the, just the new order. We have access to people. They can look on their screens and get themselves deprogrammed.
Right. Wow. And people, this is the Alchemy and Commentary of social media apps and what we can do to uplift human civilization. I think that we did it, guys. I want to wrap this up. Thank everybody for watching.